Today on the channel, it's Mattel Reveal Mania as we take a look at the brand new Showdowns, Basics, Elites, Reckons, and a whole lot more. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Mattel Reveals video discussion. Today, Mattel released via WWE.com some brand new slew of figures. Some of them we knew about, some of them we didn't know about them. Some packaging changes and some surprises along the way. So let's kick it off, let's get down to it. Let's take a look at what was revealed today from Mattel. And we're going to start it off with the Legends line. Yes, Mattel Elite Legends, the Target exclusive line, already up to Series 13, if we can all believe that. These have been coming to Targets in a pretty good clip. Very desirable, and then there's always 2, 3 even sometimes that kind of become a peg warmer, and we see clearanced out. We're seeing it right now with Scott Hall, Big John Studd being clearanced out at pretty deep discounts. So it'll be interesting where Series 13 heads, but you know, we haven't even got to Series 12 yet. Those are just hitting Canada right now, should be at our local Targets fairly soon, so be on the lookout for Series 12. But let's talk about Series 13. And the first one they revealed to us, we knew this lineup was happening, so there wasn't huge surprises here, but nice to see the glamour shots from Mattel. Nice to see in-hand, in-package images from Mattel. Give us a little bit more understanding of what we are coming to expect with these figures. And the first one we saw was the Hurricane. It's really interesting as a lot of you collectors out there, myself included, think of Legends. We always think of those stars from the 70s, 80s, maybe early 90s. Now we're to the point where we're looking at 2000 characters. The Hurricane, of course. Love the Hurricane. You guys know I'm a sucker for a guy with face paint. I'm a sucker for a guy with masks. And I love a good cape, so I'm all in on this Hurricane figure. Really gives me some of those old Jack's Ruthless Aggression vibes, as we did get a couple different versions and re-releases of the Hurricane with his cape in the past. We even got an accessory set back in the day. I always love this Hurricane look because it seemed to be his darkest, most menacing look. Yeah, the black face paint with the black mask over it. Just a darker version of the Hurricane. Very similar to an early Mattel Basic we got about 10 years ago. Kind of improving on that, turning that Basic into an Elite. So I know a lot of collectors out there love the Hurricane, so I do think this one will be a very good one out there. You guys know masked wrestlers, caped wrestlers, face-painted wrestlers. People say sign me up all day long, and I am included in that. But it just seems crazy, and it sells. We're all getting older out there. It seems like every single day we're getting older. With the new Legends, having the Hurricane in the Legends line, it just seems strange, but it's totally true. It's been a long time, and it's time for some of these guys. Let's get the Bob Hollies of the world. Let's get some of those guys in these Legends line. Come on, Mattel. Let's get it done. But there's the Hurricane, a strong-looking figure if you ask me. Then we move on to Triple H. Now, Triple H is going to go with Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, I believe China eventually, so we're really building out that DX set. I love the idea of that. I would have liked to see a special DX-only set with all DX characters, but I also like the idea of making people hang around and stick to it and get it in each set, getting a different guy in each set. So, Triple H, the next one to come. All honesty, first impressions, and all these figures we're going to talk about today, these are just first impressions, but once we get them to the table, once we get them unboxed and really dig into them, that's when the real verdict comes. But my first impression on this one is we get some reuses. It looks like that Triple H helmet is from a prior Elite. Same with the microphone, megaphone, whatever we want to call it. We saw that with CM Punk in the past. We've seen it with Triple H in the past. DX shirt is reuse. I wouldn't be shocked if those camouflage pants on Triple H are the same ones we've got with Tommaso Ciampa. There could be differences, but that's what I see. It's a great way of Mattel, as we always say on the channel, get the most out of their molds, getting the most out of some of these accessories and stuff, and bam, you got something new. Get an extra set of hands with Triple H as well with this one. And you always love the packaging with the DX strike through on it and stuff like that. But first impression on this Triple H, this might be my least favorite one of the set of Legends 13. He just looks awfully baggy in this outfit. It looks almost doll-esque. So kind of we talk about FTC sometimes. It looks like a doll. So I don't know. It looks a little bit baggy on him. We'll see. What's under that shirt? What's under those pants? That'll be an interesting find out there. I don't think I'd ever say what's under Triple H's pants, but here we are. Here we are, 2021 strikes again. But Triple H, I know a lot of DX fans are going to be on the lookout for that one. Now, the one I think I might be the most excited about here is, and here's my pick for the one that will go to clearance. The Big John Studd roll, I guess, as we're talking right now. And it is unfortunate, but we're getting Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. I love Cowboy Bob Orton. Just something about the guy. Obviously, he's Randy Orton's dad, of course, but this is a special pack, and there's a lot to unpack with this pack, a lot of packing going on. He gets his vest. We've seen that before. I believe we saw that first in the 2-pack Toys R Us exclusive with Roddy Piper, so we've seen that vest before. We've seen that cowboy hat maybe 3 or 4 times, probably 3 times, just a rough guess. So we've seen that before. I do love that we get the arm brace, for his broken arm that just would never heal, and it is removable, so we do like that, and I believe we've seen that in the past as well. But I love these extra accessories, but then the one that really takes it to the next level. This is a one I absolutely love. Customizer's dream right here. Instead of removable hands, you get boxing gloves. Very similar to Mr. T, Roddy Piper 2-pack we saw a year ago, about a year ago, I think that came out. So they're making the most of use of those molds, getting those out there, and this is great for you customizers out there. I can see people wanting to create that Big Show Floyd Mayweather, as Jax, did that Big Show boxing match figure. I could see that happening with Cowboy Bob Orton in the future. People buying this just for the gloves to, make boxers, make customs, do some stuff like that. And I do like that we got a Cowboy Bob Orton in something different. We've had the reds, the greens in the past. I don't know if we've had a blue off the top of my head. So I like this blue coloring we got here. His socks, I always love the high socks over the boots. Just a strong, strong figure. But like I said, I do think there's not a lot of love for Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. for whatever reason that is. I do think he'll be in the peg warmer spot. You long gamers out there, you'll probably get him at a dirt cheap clearance. But old Kyle, the minute he sees that, he's picking up old Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. I like that one a whole lot. And I got to eat my words a little bit because I said that might be the favorite in there. Absolutely not. There is no doubt in my mind, Jake the Snake Roberts, Series 13, the regular edition here. This will be my favorite from Series 13, and I'm going to take it one step farther. If I had to do a top 5 list of Jake the Snake, which we did on the channel, check it out. Make sure you're subscribed, all that fun stuff. This would definitely be in my top 5 and very honestly could be my #1 Jake Roberts of all time. I love the Cobra era of Jake the Snake Roberts. My height of my fandom, if we want to call it that, was during the snakebite incident with the Macho Man. I absolutely loved it when he went to WCW and feuded with Sting and the Cobra, and I love the flame coloring and the blue. I'm a sucker for the color blue and the flames and the Cobra. This is everything I want in a Jake the Snake figure. So this one, to me, will be the best one of the set. I just, hands down, something could change, but I gotta think this is the best one. I just absolutely love the looks of this one. And then Jake, once again, he was also the chase in a couple sets back in this Legends line. So there's something about old Jake being the chase, but we're going to chase Jake Roberts in a gray. Definitely not as cool of a look as the last one. I do love the snake glove on him, though. He's got the snake handling glove. I think that is a really cool touch on this one. But you can make it different. It's different color. It's like we've seen some variants like Aleister Black that there's not a lot of difference. There's a lot of difference between these Jakes with the colors and stuff. So you put an extra set of hands, a different set of hands, have one hold the Cobra, have one not with the Cobra. You get totally different figures here. So I do love these Jakes, but the blue Jake with the flames, sign me up all day long. That is going to be a tremendous figure. Tremendous Jake the Snake Roberts figure. And then we also saw, keeping on with the Elites aspect here, we did see the collector's edition version of the Goon. And I believe the Goon is going to be a Walmart exclusive. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Goon will be a Walmart exclusive. This is the first time we've actually seen picture images of this figure. Before, we just kind of had the computer-generated images. And if you guys go back to my prior video on the big reveal video when they announced those, I believe San Diego Comic-Con in July of 2021, I thought it looked a whole lot like Randy Orton. I thought the Goon, it looked like they just used Randy Orton's head, and I still see it, but not as much, but I do still see it when I look at it. It feels like it's a lot of Randy Orton in that face. But the Goon, tremendous figure once again. I love deep cut figures. I just absolutely love them. I don't know if the regular fan base that buys Elites does love them, though. I go to the stores. I was in the stores this week, and I see, you know, multiple Colonel Mustafas hanging on the pegs. And everybody's area is different. And it seems like some of these collector's editions, Mattel is extremely smart. Because it seems like all of us want it. We're in that collector's bubble. We all want the Goon. But little Andy down the road, he's not really into the Goon. He doesn't really want the Goon, and I think we see that across the board, and I think a lot of these guys, I see Kama out there. I've seen Kama and Mae Young. Actually, this week I saw Kama, Mae Young, Warlord, and what was the other one? Colonel Mustafa. I saw all those on the pegs this week in multiple numbers. So some of these collector's editions do struggle out there, and that's why they're collector's edition. They're limited to one store, gives Walmart or Target a pat on the back, and it also gives the collectors like us the deep cuts. But man, some of these just don't move, and I think the Goon will be in there. As cool as this Goon is, I love the ice skate flavored shoes he's got going on. To smoke and mirrors. He's got that going on. I love the hockey jersey. I love the gloves, of course, much like the boxing gloves. They snap on like that. And then even the hockey shots they gave us in the reveal pictures. Just tremendous. Just looks tremendous. Can you see him on your detail for your bookshelf or wherever you display your stuff in like a slap shot pose or something? I can see people using Chris Jericho, putting the jersey on him, using the hockey stick with him. You can use some of these accessories for different guys. So I do see customizers jumping in on the Goon as well. Maybe they're not looking for a Goon, but some really first time in the line accessories here that is pretty cool. So I do like the looks of this Goon. He will be in the new packaging. That was the big reveal here too. Outside of the Legends, we saw new packaging across the board, and we'll talk about it a little bit. But we saw it in the top picks. We unboxed those on the channel. Elite 89 should be coming to my house, I believe, next week. So we'll be unboxing those on the channel as well, as you guys, we always do. But this Goon one, for what it is, I like it a whole lot. So I'm excited to get this. It's always fun to get guys we don't ever get and never thought we would get, and that's where the Goon sits for me. So very cool there. And then it looks like Series 125. Yes, 125 basic series has been through Mattel for the last 11 years, almost 12, I guess. When we got The Rock, they showed pictures of The Rock in the new packaging. It really does still give me that Network Spotlight packaging throwback feels from the old Toys R Us line a little bit. But we're getting a Rock. It's good. Take it or leave it. I'm personally going to leave it. These are more for kids, as we know. You know I buy first time in the line and some special characters. This Rock, for me, he just isn't it. So I'm not picking that one up. Jeff Hardy going to be in 125. You guys know I'm a sucker for guys in face paint. This is one of those ones where I don't like a lot of Jeff Hardy. He's not my favorite face painted wrestler by no means. Probably not even top 15. But I would pick this one up if it goes on clearance, if Ringside Collectibles, and if I use discount code Kyle to save 10%, I might pick this up on a flash sale or something like that, because they get a lot of reuse out of that Jeff Hardy. You guys know, we've seen that same Jeff Hardy with different face paints, different colors many times, but why? He sells. Kids love face paint. There you go. And then we saw Elias returning. It seems like Elias has been up and down, a little bit forgotten. He went to the highest of highs, to the lowest of lows. It seems he's thrown away his guitar. I don't know where he's going. I don't know if I don't remember seeing those vignettes the last couple of weeks, so I'm not sure where Elias goes from here. But we're getting an Elias in his jeans. He's got his wife beater on, blue, no guitars, anything like that. He does have his wrist handkerchiefs on his wrists, and it's the Elias head we've seen in the past too. So I don't know how well this one will go, especially if Elias is changing his gimmick totally. This isn't a bad one though for you guys that have fig feds out there. For guys in the crowd, I could see Elias being a good guy in the crowd. Another one you might want to pick up on clearance down the road. And then we moved on to 125. They always have to give us a female, and they did on here. They gave us Ember Moon, and I had reservations about this Ember Moon in the figure reveal video in July. They got a little worse right now because this Ember Moon missing the mark a little bit. It does truly look like Awesome Kong to me. I think some of you guys might see that as well. She does. It just doesn't flatter her at all, I don't feel. So this is a bit of a miss out there. Ember Moon, a person that does not get a lot of figures, so it is unfortunate whenever we see that. I don't foresee this one selling so hot out there. It kind of reminds me of a big miss like that Alexa Bliss, that GM version of Alexa Bliss we got many years ago that rotted on the pegs for a heck of a long time, if you guys remember back to that one. So that was Series 125. And then 125, we get the regular edition and the chase of Isaiah Swerve Scott. So that's an interesting one there. A first time in the line once again in 125. NXT superstar, former North American champion, indie darling for a long time, a guy who has had an FTC figure in the past. But it's cool to get first time in the line. You give him 2 different gears. That makes people buy 2 of them. As me, I'll pick this up, and I don't really care what gear I get. I'm not too picky about it. He does look a little small. He seems to be a lot taller in person. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I met him one time. But he does seem okay, so I think there'll be a lot of people clamoring for this. It is a little bit dated, I think, as now he's with Hit Row and all that kind of stuff. I gotta think we're going to get some elites out of that. So this is one of those ones some people might pass because we know we're going to get a future elite of Isaiah Swerve Scott. So there it is right there. And then what do we turn our attention to? We turn our attention to the Royal Rumble. Easy for me to say. Royal Rumble, the Target exclusive, went off the rails last year. It hit some of the stores in like onesie twosies instead of full cases. I was lucky enough to get them at my Target right away. A lot of people struggled for a long time. Later on, they went up on Amazon. They went up on Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code Kyle, save 10%. But now, currently, that Royal Rumble edition is starting to hit some Big Lot stores out there. So it's a very, very strange set. But this, I believe, will be a Target exclusive. Should hit around January, as usual. It does every single year. A 4-person set, so very easy to pick up. Very akin to your WrestleMania sets out there. And I do like the addition of Build-A-Figures to this. This is something I've been screaming about for 2 years now, is we need Build-A-Figures in the wrestling lineup, giving us deep cut managers, giving us guys that, you know, maybe not everybody wants. Think back to that Danny Davis figure. Think to Paul Ellering. It's a great way to get some of these guys out in the line that maybe couldn't sell on their own. And we're getting a Jimmy Hart Build-A-Figure with this Royal Rumble set. So each figure comes with a piece to build Jimmy Hart. Tremendous idea. Just absolutely tremendous. I don't know if Jimmy Hart would sell on his own. We've seen Bobby Heenan. We've seen other managers kind of struggle out there, but this works a lot. This works a lot for me. I love the idea of getting Jimmy Hart in there. It's going to be great for some customizers out there if they're looking for suit bodies, colorful bodies, stuff like that. Just a lot to like. I could see maybe people turning Jimmy Hart into a Seth Rollins. He's wearing crazy suits right now. Maybe that's an idea for you customizers out there. But getting Jimmy Hart in this line, I love it. WrestleMania, we're getting a Build-A-Figure Vince McMahon. I love that as well. And then we're getting Dominic in the SummerSlam line. So all the pay-per-view series, we're getting Build-A-Figures. Kudos, Mattel. Let's take it to the next level. Let's give basics with a Build-A-Figure each time. I think that would convince a ton of people to get basics. If you could do deep cut managers, deep cut, you know, backstage gear, stuff like that, announcers, ring crew, you could do all kinds of stuff, and I think it would make a lot of people jump into the basics line that are not in the basics line right now. Think if you could get a Slick. If they could work that out and you get Slick, there'd be a lot of people buying those basics. They'd be probably throwing away the figure or selling it, but hey, guess what? Mattel doesn't care what you do. Once they get it through the register, that's great. That's what they want to hear. So we're getting in that Royal Rumble line. We're getting Big E. I do think this Big E will be a big seller. Obviously, now the current champion, Big E's momentum is at an all-time high. This Elite couldn't have come at a better time. And a really cool inspired gear with the rest of the New Day on the tights and stuff like that and the singlet. So I do think that'll be a good seller. That's kind of your modern-day guy in this line. And then we turn our attention to the Battle of the Big Men, and I love this one as well. Canadian Earthquake. And this is Earthquake when we first were introduced to Earthquake back in the WWF when I was a little kid back in the day. He's got the Canadian maple leaf on his chest. I just love the looks of this one. You guys know I love a big figure, especially a big Legends figure. So Earthquake, sign me up all day long. I'll take 2. I'll take 2. Give me 2 of them. But he will come with Jimmy Hart Build-A-Figure pieces as well. And Jimmy Hart was his manager, so that fits in even better. But a lot of reuse with this one, as you can expect, but it's smart of Mattel. This is a guy that's been off the sales floor for a while, getting new people that are, there's always new collectors joining in. They got a chance to get an Earthquake figure, and everybody needs an Earthquake Legends in their figure collection. Then we turn to a current-day, modern-day female. We got Dakota Kai. Much improved on her basic, as it should be. Haven't opened that basic yet. It looks a little rough. This is much better. Got extra hands. Obviously comes with the Jimmy Hart piece as well. A little bit of a mean mugging face, but she is a bad guy, so it makes a little bit of sense. But I do like the idea of this Dakota Kai. It's going to be probably the peg warmer of the set. We've seen how females usually resonate with the consumer out there, and this one being in the cases and all that kind of stuff and Target exclusive, I think this one might be a bit of a challenge out there. So I do expect Dakota Kai to be the peg warmer. Sorry, Dakota, I know you subscribe and you watch the channel, but I got to call a spade a spade. I got to call a spade a spade. And then the last one of the set, and the one that most people are excited about, I'm kind of tied between him and Earthquake, but it's Yokozuna. We're getting another version of Yokozuna. We've had similar Yokozuna, but this time we get his little salt bucket. Oh, that's a great one. Where this would have been a great set if we would have got Master Fuji as the Build-A-Figure. Unfortunately, not meant to be. They must have trouble signing him. But I like this Yokozuna. We got a new head sculpt there, kind of a mean mugging mad face going on. But Yokozuna will sell. I don't think we'll have any problems. The last time we had a Yokozuna on the pegs, I believe, was the Walmart exclusive flashback line. So now we get a Target exclusive Royal Rumble line. So that'll be a good one. I have high promises for Yokozuna. I think he'll sell very well out there. So that's the elite portion of the show, and we turn our attention to some of the Showdown, the Showdown figures. So interesting concept with these Showdowns. We've seen them tweaking some things, changing them from the old days of battle packs, and the tweaks keep going. As this time, you guys remember, we get those big stands, and they fit on the toy kid's belt out there. Looks like they're going away with those. So they're doing away with those, and they are moving to a little bit of a platform with flight stands. How interesting is that? We're getting these flight stands that we're usually used to, like Marvel Legends figures and more superhero figures with these flight stands. But they plug in, and you can kind of have your two guys standing there, and they can kind of be squaring off, doing stuff. I guess I could see people buying these and using these maybe for elite figures. I don't know. I don't know about it. I don't know if little kids who these Showdown packs are usually accustomed to, if they're doing a lot of flight stand stuff. That's more action figure photography, more display stuff, and the average display collector isn't really looking for Showdown packs. So I think the Mattel team is working on their way to give the most value and try to understand what the consumer wants with these Showdown packs. They tried last year with the belts. This year's the flight stands and stands, it seems. We'll see what the next year brings in 2023. Maybe they'll change it up again, or maybe they're trying to find out what works, throwing darts to see what sticks, and trying to give the customer a perceived more value out there. And who knows, they might convince people to buy things just for this flight stand. I wish the flight stand was not attached to that big, kind of gaudy base. I understand what they're doing there. And then you could use it for other things. It'd be great if we get cheap flight stands at Walmarts and Targets we could pick up, and you could use them for your Marvel Legends. You could use them for NECA and other things. I think that would be a nice play out there, and you could sell some extra units that you weren't planning on if you did that. But first one we saw was Cesaro and Roman Reigns. It seems like it's been an eternity since a Cesaro figure of any kind has come out. So it's nice to get Cesaro. This pack is extremely dated, as you guys are fully aware of, but it's an interesting one. Interesting. That's his best. I don't think that one's going to set the world on fire because we get so many Roman Reigns. And Cesaro, for whatever reason, not the most toyetic guy out there. He does seem to peg warm over the years, but I like that he's getting other figures. A lot of people, once again, new collectors and maybe past, especially kids out there. Then we get a throwback one. In the Showdown, we got to give a credit where credit's due, is the Showdowns are throwing us some new bones out there. They're throwing us some new figures, and we're getting Kane and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So that is kind of cool. I like the idea of that as something different. I don't know if we need that Kane. I don't know if we need that Stone Cold, but there's collectors out there that collect those, that want every one. There's kids that want those. This one hits home for me. I can see people saying, Kyle, in the comments, you have a Legends bias, and maybe I do. I think I do have a Legends bias. I think a lot of us have a Legends bias. So I do think this set is better than Cesaro Roman Reigns. Maybe somebody else out there thinks differently, but I gotta think most people would prefer this over the Cesaro Roman Reigns. But if I'm wrong, you guys let me know. And then the final pack's an interesting one. I'm on the fence on this one. I may pick this up. I do like Rhea Ripley. She loves heavy metal. She's dressed like heavy metal. I like her work. This represents the WrestleMania match with Charlotte, but there is something amiss with this Rhea Ripley figure. I am not sure what's going on there. Just the boxiness of it, of her shoulders and stuff, and the head's maybe a hair small. Something's amiss, and maybe it starts with her outfit, as I did feel that outfit was a little bit of a miss for her in my eyes, and you guys could see that differently, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like I need this Rhea Ripley, but this would be one of those ones you play that really long game. Charlotte, it's a bit of a rehash, a color change of a recent Charlotte basic we've gotten. I don't know. They just haven't seemed to really nail Charlotte 100% perfect in the Elite or the Basic line. Her Ultimate Edition I liked a lot, so I wish they would use more of that Ultimate Edition, but it's okay. You know, Charlotte's most popular female, or maybe most known, most active, most hyped, the most winning heavyweight. Is she a heavyweight? female heavyweight champion. I don't think that's the right term, but you know where I'm going with it. So I found that to be interesting, and she gets more of an NXT base because this is when Charlotte won the NXT title. Instead of having the NXT base, I would have liked to have seen an NXT title with this personally, but you get what you get. And then we turned our attention to the wrecking vehicles. These things are pretty funny. We've had a red car, we've had a blue car, we've had an ambulance, we've had a ring and stage type thing, kind of a scaffold match type deal. And I like the idea of this. I like it for little kids. I like it for you fig photographers out there. And this is an interesting one. It's an ATV with Big E. And I love the comical pictures, and I love the look on Big E's face in this figure. That's pretty funny. I do like this one. And I feel like I will get this because I feel this ATV could be used for a lot of different lines out there. I could see using this with G.I. Joe. You could use this with some other stuff. So I do think you'll have a lot of non-wrestling collectors picking this up, and that's, once again, smart business 101 by Mattel. Kudos to them. And what else you can do? You got cars, you got ambulances, you got stages. Well, you're looking into other things. I'd love to see a limo one of these days. Maybe that's coming in the future with a Vince McMahon in a limo. Give us that in the wrecking line eventually. But I like this. I could see a lot of people using this for their Stone Cold Steve Austin figures out there. There's a lot of people been looking for an ATV for Stone Cold, and this might work just perfectly. So you'll get Big E, so that'll be an interesting one. But I like the looks of it. As with all the wrecking stuff, it does break apart. But if you don't want it to break apart, put a little super glue in it, and there you go. So there's options there. And then the final thing we saw today, probably, I don't know, the worst thing, but it is a throwback, and it does bring me back to the good old Jax days with this one. It's a Championship 2-pack, so you get a little title belt, and you get 2 basic figures. You get a Drew McIntyre, you get a Randy Orton. Great for little kids. Great for little kids. You've got 2 guys. You can immediately have a match. There's probably nothing worse in the world you could do to a kid that loves wrestling figures than just buying 1 figure. You gotta have 2. What are you gonna do with just 1? So this is a perfect starter pack for a little kid out there. You give them, they get a title belt they can play with and wear around their room, and they got 2 wrestlers. The only thing better would be to have a basic ring attached to this, and then you're printing money for all those new wrestling little kid fans out there. It is what it is. This isn't for me, probably not for our audience either, unless you're looking to buy for your kids. But I understand where this comes. We all got to take that business step back, and we understand these are for kids out there, and this is a perfect kids pack out there. Very cool. So kudos to Mattel for doing that. So that's quite the reveal day. It seems like we've had a little quiet reveal time since San Diego Comic-Con. Not a ton of new groundbreaking things. There's a lot of this stuff we knew about with San Diego Comic-Con, but it's nice to be flushed out with some packaging and some real product images instead of just renders. So there's some updates there. So some exciting things to come. I know a lot of Legend collectors are excited. New collectors are excited. There's a little bit for everybody in these reveals today, and that's why Mattel does it. They put it a little bit for everybody. Stretch it across the whole fan base, and that's smart. That's, once again, business 101. There it is. So kudos, Mattel. Let me know what you guys think. You guys put it down in the comments. Anything here really catch your eye? What are you the most excited for? What are you most disappointed in? Do you agree with some of my stuff? Do you disagree with some of my stuff? You guys let me know in the comments below. And then while you're here, you've made it this far, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're like just a couple hundred away from 10,000 subscribers. Once we hit that 10,000 subscribers, we're going to do giveaways. We're going to do an Ultimate Warrior Top 10. We're going to do a Q&A video. I'm going to hopefully get my dad on the channel. We'll see how that goes. But there's a lot to come once we get to 10,000. So help me get there. Make sure you subscribe. Yes, I'm talking to you there, and especially you right there. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram, and of course, ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, support the channel. So for Mattel Reveals, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.